We often think our modern world just sort of evolved slowly over centuries. But what if I told you that the very core of your daily life, your lights, your car, your phone, was actually born in this single, incredibly intense burst of innovation? It was like a big bang of progress that completely changed the planet forever.
No, I mean, really, just take a second and try to picture it. No flicking on a light switch when you walk into a room. No car keys. No phone in your pocket. For our not so distant ancestors, that wasn't some thought experiment. That was just life. And then, almost in the blink of an eye, basically everything we take for granted was invented.
So, what lit the fuse for this explosion? Well, it was really about two new kinds of power. On one hand, you had gasoline, this incredible fuel for the brand new internal combustion engine. I mean, think about it, tiny, controlled explosions in a cylinder, pushing pistons to turn a wheel. And on the other hand, you had electricity, this almost magical force that could light up the entire night, run huge factories, and send a human voice clear across a continent. These two, they were the twin engines of our modern world. Okay, so this new energy didn't just lead to a few small improvements here and there. Nope. It unleashed an absolute wave of inventions that completely rewired society from the ground up, shrinking the planet and totally redefining what was even possible. And if you're going to talk about this era, you have to talk about Thomas Edison. This quote right here, it's the perfect key to understanding the guy. He held over 1,000 patents, but it wasn't because he was some lone genius just having these aha moments. No, he was a master of relentless, grueling hard work. And here's the thing that's truly revolutionary about Edison. It might not have even been the light bulb. It was his method. He created the world's first ever modern research lab. Just picture it, a place designed to bring experts together with one single goal, to churn out innovations, to turn ideas into reality over and over again. He didn't just invent products, he invented the process of invention itself. He built an invention factory. So while Edison was busy lighting up the world, other inventors were wiring it for sound. First, in 1876, Alexander Graham Bell gives us the telephone. Amazing! But then, not even 20 years later, Guglielmo Marconi figures out how to send messages right through the air with radio waves. All of a sudden, a message could cross an ocean instantly. Distance itself was collapsing. And then came the revolution on wheels. Look, cars already existed, but let's be honest, they were handcrafted, super expensive toys for the rich. But Henry Ford, an American mechanic, he saw something totally different. He didn't want to build a car for the wealthy, he wanted to build one for everybody. And to do that, he knew he had to completely reinvent how cars were made. And this was his game-changing idea, the assembly line. It's so simple, it's brilliant. Instead of having a team build one car from the ground up, the car itself moved past a line of workers, and each worker did just one simple, repetitive task. It sounds almost too simple, right? But that level of specialization was the absolute key to unlocking unbelievable speed and efficiency.
And here's the proof of that efficiency. The price of a Model T absolutely plummeted, from about $850 all the way down to under $300. And that is the crucial point here. Ford didn't just build a car, he built a new kind of freedom. All of a sudden, ordinary families could travel, they could move to the suburbs, they could connect with the country in a way that was totally impossible just a few years before. So while Ford was conquering the road, two bicycle mechanics from Ohio, the Wright brothers, they were dreaming of the sky. In 1903, their longest flight lasted just 59 seconds. Can you believe that? Less than a single minute. But in that 1 minute, humanity learned to fly, and our world was, quite literally, never the same again. But this new spirit of invention wasn't just about machines. No, the same kind of scientific curiosity was being turned inward to the human body itself. It was about fighting this invisible enemy that had plagued humanity for all of history, disease. The massive breakthrough came from a French chemist named Louis Pasteur. He was the one who proved that these tiny little living things, bacteria, were the real cause of many diseases. Before this, people blamed everything from bad air to evil spirits. Pasteur's germ theory was the absolute key that unlocked all of modern medicine. And this is just a perfect example of how science builds on itself. So a British surgeon, Joseph Lister, he reads Pasteur's work and has this total light bulb moment. He connects the dots. What if these invisible germs are the reason so many of his patients die after surgery? So he starts using antiseptics to clean wounds, to clean his instruments, and in doing so, he transformed the operating room from a place of death into a place of healing. And the results were just, well, Look for yourself. They were absolutely stunning. Surgery went from being basically a coin toss for survival, with less than half the patients making it, to an 85% success rate. That one single idea saved millions and millions of lives. It wasn't magic. It was the scientific method in action.
But this revolution went even deeper than machines in medicine. It started asking these fundamental questions about reality itself. It started challenging our understanding of life, of matter, and even of our own minds. And while perhaps no idea was more explosive than Charles Darwin's theory of evolution, his proposal that all life, and yes, that includes us humans, evolved through this process of natural selection, well, it was world-shattering. It fundamentally changed humanity's view of its place in the universe, and it remains controversial to this day. At the same time, in physics and chemistry, scientists were zooming in on the very building blocks of matter. John Dalton gives us the modern concept of the atom. Then, Mendeleev brilliantly organizes them all into the periodic table. And then, Marie Curie discovers that some atoms aren't stable at all. They release this powerful, mysterious energy she called radioactivity. And in doing so, she unknowingly opened the door to the atomic age. And Marie Curie was just an absolutely incredible figure. She was an immigrant in Paris who just shattered barriers. She became the first woman to ever teach at the Sorbonne, and the first person in history to win Nobel Prizes in 2 different sciences. Her work literally unlocked the power hidden deep inside the atom. So the final frontier left to explore was the human mind itself. In Russia, you had Ivan Pavlov, who showed that our behavior could be trained, that it was often just an unconscious reaction. But in Austria, Sigmund Freud went way deeper. He proposed that our actions are secretly driven by this hidden unconscious world of our desires and suppressed memories. Subtly, it seemed we weren't the rational masters of our own minds we always thought we were. So, with all these massive changes happening in technology and science, what did daily life actually start to look like for regular people? Well, all these different threads started weaving together to create something brand new to the world: modern mass culture. The logic here is actually a really powerful chain reaction. Just look at this first row. All that new industrial efficiency leads to shorter workdays. That means people have more leisure time. And all that free time created this huge new demand for entertainment. And then you see in the second row, public education was creating millions of new readers. So you had this massive new audience just hungry for things to do. And of course, technology rose to meet this new demand. For the first time in human history, thanks to Edison's phonograph, you could listen to music whenever you wanted, right in your own home. And his kinetoscope, which was basically an early movie projector, started bringing moving pictures to the masses. This is it. This is the moment where Hollywood and the modern music industry really begin. This new leisure time also fueled a massive passion for spectator sports. People began to gather by the thousands to watch baseball in the US, while professional soccer clubs were forming all across Europe. And in what was a perfect symbol of this new, connected world, the International Olympic Games were revived in 1896, bringing athletes from all over the globe to compete. So just look around you. Nearly everything that defines our modern life has its roots in this one single explosive era. They dealt with massive disruption and world-altering ideas to build the foundation that we all stand on today. Which leaves us with a pretty big question. As we navigate our own era of incredibly rapid change, what can we learn from their revolution?